Good afternoon, everyone, from a very hot 32-degree sunny South Africa in Pretoria, Gauteng. So those of you that aren't based over here, it's quite hot at the moment, but it's a lovely sunny day. Just hopefully we can get some rain again as soon as possible. So welcome to the graveyard shift. I know that there are two other sessions going on at the moment as well. And thank you very much for those who are attending this session, who have attended the last session. Very much appreciated. I'm going to be going through a quick 10-minute overview of the GroupWise video conferencing add-on solution. I don't want to take up too much time because the proof is in the pudding. So Bongani is going to actually run through the demonstration after I've gone through the overview. So just a quick discussion on the agenda. As I said before, a quick overview of the actual technology itself, most particularly for newcomers who aren't aware of the technology, haven't experienced it, haven't tested it, etc. A little bit about the product roadmap, not in too much detail. A very, very exciting announcement on Get Meeting. I'll say no more right now. And then we'll cover the licensing model. We'll go into a little bit around how you can actually apply for evaluation versions. You get a 30-day trial license, which can potentially be extended as well. And then we'll also just talk about a few easy options, really, but in line with the most common support and enhancement requests that we've been experiencing thus far, just to help you along in that process. And then we'll move on to a demo, which will include a wonderful sneak peek of version 2, and then Q&A if there are any for the moment. So from an overview perspective, quite simply, what GroupWise video conferencing allows you to do as an add-on is to schedule meetings from within your GroupWise client, utilizing a add-on application or technology that can be launched from within the GroupWise Windows client specifically. It does not currently work for the webmail client. We'll get into that just now when it comes to the roadmap. And then you can schedule meetings without going through the anguish of copying and pasting those meeting links and all the password credentials and everything manually into your meeting afterwards. And we currently support GoTo Meeting, Jitsi, Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and WebEx. We have actually completed, for the most part, our development cycle when it comes to Google Meet. What we're waiting for over there has got mostly to do with the verification process on Google's side specifically. So essentially, that's what the solution is all about. So if you're getting pressure from your senior management in your organization, or even if you're wondering yourself, why aren't you using Outlook in an Exchange environment because it has all the plugins for most of these video conferencing platforms included. Bear in mind that with Outlook, they are all separate plugins. The only plugin, to my knowledge, that comes by default with Outlook as a plugin is Microsoft Teams. The rest can be installed. I don't think they've got a plugin for Jitsi, but they may or may not have. I'll have to confirm that. But bear in mind, they are all separate plugins. But that is not a problem anymore because now you can do it from within the GroupWise client. So just a couple of highlights on the current release, which is version 1.5.1. That's the build number 88525. I'm not going to run through all of them, but a couple of the new features I'd like to highlight, besides the fact that we now have translation into a number of various languages, is a common request that we had before in the previous release was around GoTo Meeting, which obviously automatically generates its own password that needs to be inserted or used when you're joining the meeting. We now generate that password into our add-on, so you don't now need to go through the anguish of finding the password afterwards in your GoTo Meeting VC platform and including that manually. So that is fixed, which is quite nice. Of course, we've got auto refresh mechanisms now when it comes to your email list, which you can manually activate on your own, and everything is nicely and neatly categorized in alphabetical order when it comes to the drop-down lists. And then from a bug fixes perspective, the two that I want to mention most specifically is the GoTo Meeting dashboard that wasn't previously refreshing. That's now been fixed. And then the last one on the list is you can now install the application in what we call silent mode, to multiple workstations. And you can utilize a technology like ZenWorks from OpenText as an example, who are one of our platinum sponsors. And you can do that from a centralized location. So pretty neat and slick from that perspective. Some of the most common support issues. Okay, so very important to note, because we are obviously interacting with your Teams account or whatever VC platform you're using, and the most common one at the moment obviously being used is Microsoft Teams. When you are doing your registration on your Azure AD portal, it's very important to note that when you're doing your Teams, your MS Teams configuration, you need to select the desktop option, not the web option. It's a common mistake that's made by a number of organizations, so please bear that in mind. Our application is not going to work properly if you select the web option. Also important to note that you need to, at minimum, be licensed for a Microsoft Teams Essentials subscription. Unfortunately, Microsoft once again decided to terminate the MS Teams Exploratory free subscription as of April this year. You do not have to have a Windows or Microsoft 365, whichever way you want to term it, E1 or A1 if you're education or higher level subscription, but you must have at the very least an MS Teams Essential subscription, and that's for every user that's going to be utilizing this add-on. And then also when it comes to your actual evaluation request, if you're going to go and request an evaluation license that you can do on our website under the company tab at the top of our website, and you fill in the request form, be sure to include the same email address inside that registration form that you are going to use when you actually register to create an account for yourself to apply for the evaluation trial license or software. Another common issue is if you are implementing a new version of the software or there's a patch update, there is a hidden app data directory located on your user profile directory, which is in your on your Windows main folder. We can help you with that if you get stuck. But often what we find is it's better to rather delete that and uninstall the previous version first, because when you launch the application, it will automatically recreate that configuration file. So these are just common issues that we find and sort of help everyone on their way. From a roadmap perspective, we've obviously surpassed April, so that's the release that we're currently on. But just a couple of things that I'd like to point out in the new release, I think Bongani might be showing you some of these today, is we have a refresh on the user interface, which is quite nice. Another common request we had was around the MSI installer. I'm not sure if Bongani is going to specifically be covering that, but we have enabled that facility, or it will be enabled in the new version once it's released, hopefully later this month. And there are a number of other improvements around the virtual conferencing platform integrations. Moving on to April and later on in the year, next year of 2024, a couple of things that I want to highlight over there is obviously at that point we're hoping to have our Google Meet integrated. There's also going to be additional support for platforms, hopefully such as 3CX and potentially some others, as well as we are working still on the integration with the GroupWise webmail application itself, which is actually a Docker application. Unfortunately, we are subject to the API access that we receive from OpenText. Okay, so if we don't get the correct level of access in regards to the API, unfortunately, that won't become a reality, but we are in discussions with them. And then moving on to later next year in August, I think one of the major enhancements over there is we're looking at the release of a mobile app for this technology, I think, which is very, very exciting. Then our big announcement, get meeting for GroupWise. Okay, please don't mistake this for a technology that's going to be part and parcel of the GroupWise video conferencing plugin. It's not going to be. It's going to be a separate application. However, it's going to be integrated with that as well as your VC meetings. And it's going to operate similarly to Calendly. I think everyone's familiar with Calendly. Google Meet uses it, where you can go and pick a time that a person is available in their calendar and it automatically schedules an appointment for you. So this is an exciting new development endeavor that we've undertaken. I think it's going to put a lot of sleepless nights onto Bongani's shoulders. However, we're very excited about this, and we're here to support him. It is in the very early development stages, so we can't give you an ETA as yet. Our obviously objective is to have it available both as on-premise and cloud as an option. And beta testing, hopefully, if all goes well, is expected around about the end of the first quarter of next year. From a licensing model perspective, quite simply, there's two options. You can either license all of your Windows client GroupWise mailboxes. Those are the ones that we count because webmail at the moment isn't counted because it doesn't work for webmail. Okay, so you cover your entire environment, and there's a particular unit cost for that. Or you can select to only license a few of the users, a select amount. So you might have 1,000 users and you only want to provide 250 of them with access. And you can opt for that subscription model as well. Bear in mind, it's a subscription model, not a perpetual licensing model. We also have an enterprise subscription model for site licensing. We have got volume-based discounts, education and multi-year discounts. Education has got tremendously high discounts, and that's generally available through our distributors and partners. So quickly from an evaluation request perspective, I'm not going to run into all of these bullet points because otherwise we're going to go over our time. And the reason I say that is because all of the above instructions, if you look at the last bullet point, will be actually sent to you and explained to you via email communication as the process goes on. But all you need to do from your side, first and foremost, is go to our website at that URL and request the free trial. Or just go to netcb.com, click on company, and that link will be there. When that happens, we will automatically send you a reply letting you know that we've received your request. Okay, we will then provision you into the administration portal. From there, once you provision, you'll get another email that'll explain the entire process of all the rest of the bullet points, but in far more detail as to what you need to do in order to download the software, how you need to install it, etc., etc. Okay. If you run into any problems or you struggle, you're welcome to have a support session with us. It won't cost you anything. We'll happily schedule a video conference meeting with you. Just from an enhancements request perspective and support requests, right? Bear in mind, you don't need to be a licensed customer in order to put these requests forward. Even if you're running the evaluation software, you can put the request forward for support at support@netcb.com or visit our help desk. And for enhancements, it's GWVC-enhancements@netcb.com. Thank you very much for your time, and I'd like to hand over to Bongani now, who's our Director of Research, Engineering and Development for the demonstration.
Okay. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen. Yeah. So thank you very much, Justin, for that comprehensive introduction. And I also like to say thank you to everyone who managed to join our session, because I know that there are a lot of sessions running in parallel, but we really appreciate the effort for you that you've made to join our session. So without any wasting time, let's dive in. Okay, here is our welcome page that you will see every time or upon installing and launching the application for the first time, which obviously you can disable, or you can choose to disable that. Every time you launch the application, it won't show, or you can just leave that as it is using that tick box there at the bottom. So it's up to you whether you want to see this every time you launch application or not. So on the welcome page, we can obviously see that the dashboard will, not the dashboard, I mean, you will obviously see the enabled platforms for your organization. So this is a setting basically that is done by your system administrators through the administration portal, which I can just quickly show you how it looks like. So this is the portal that administrators will use to manage the application within your organization. So I won't dive too much into details on this portal, but it's something that administrators use to manage this app. So you see, everything that is configured here will appear on the app. within your organization. So administrators can set the token for MS Teams. Therefore, MS Teams in your application in that desktop add-on will appear. Otherwise, it will just say it is disabled for your organization. Simple as that. So that's the system portal that we use for this application. And then as you begin to use the system by just clicking on that button there at the bottom, you will be presented by this dashboard, which will basically show your upcoming events for each and every platform that is on the dashboard. Obviously, you can effortlessly navigate through these dashboards. For Jitsi, you just click on that top navigation there to see the events or the rooms. Especially for Jitsi, it's just rooms that you can that you've created, as well as for Teams, WebEx. These are the platforms that are enabled on my local machine. And then for WebEx, they only have one event scheduled. This one is a recurring event. Oh, sorry, not a recurring event, but it's a scheduled one, which was scheduled yesterday during our demonstration. As well as we have GoTo Meeting. So once you see this, it means that the session has expired for GoTo Meeting. You can see with that exclamation mark there at the top of that icon. So it's easy to just refresh because we have a refresh link there that you can just click, and then it will obviously pop this authentication window just to refresh your dashboard. So let me quickly refresh that. So I've authenticated, and then now I can see my GoTo Meeting events. So these are the events that are under GoTo Meeting. And then on this dashboard, there are a few functions that you can see on each and every panel or box of an event. We have the delete, we have the start meeting, and we also have the reuse button there. So with these functions, you can choose to delete the event on this dashboard. But one thing that to note about the delete function is that it won't delete this event in your GroupWise calendar, but it will just remove the event on this dashboard as well as in that platform itself. So it won't affect your GroupWise calendar, so don't be afraid of that. So every time you delete, it won't show again on this dashboard. So I can just delete this one just to show you it's a GoTo event. You obviously need to confirm the delete operation because it's a sensitive operation, and then it will delete, and then it's gone. Deleted the event, and then now I have 19 events. And then obviously when you click on the start button, it will actually redirect to your browser, where you can then choose to launch the meeting using your browser or to launch the meeting using the app itself if you have installed that app. But you don't need to do that actually, because you can just run the app. You can run the meeting using your default browser, which will work fine as well. So you don't need to actually install each and every platform on your desktop. Those apps, you don't necessarily need them. Okay, it's your choice, because the browser can help you to go through those meetings. And then just to quickly again show you, so we've talked about the reuse button. As I said, that it's just a situation whereby someone will want to create a generic room. Let's say you have a session, a 5-day training session with 25 users. So you allocate a day to 5 users. Then you can just create a room and then reuse those details every time you have a session with those users. The next day again, you share to those users on the next day, and so on and so on. So that reuse button is for that one. But you can see under Google Meet, You don't have that because that one is a schedule meeting. You won't see that button. The details, the event information changes every time, and it's only dedicated for that event. So let me quickly show you how to create actually a meeting using this simplified add-on. So I'll quickly show you with Teams. So when you click on Teams, first of all, it will authenticate to your Teams account. Then obviously that window will pop up, and then you obviously choose your account, and then it will continue to load, verifying your information, and then you'll be presented by this screen. So on the screen, first thing that you need to do, you need to select which room you want to create this event. And obviously in Teams, you know that we have rooms that you can use to create events under. So I can just use Team X, and then I'll say this one is a test event or test meeting, whatever. And then from here, you can also adjust the parameters that are presented to you. Obviously, you have the start date, the time, the duration of that meeting, and then the time zone, as we live in different time zones across the world. And then you can click proceed once you think everything is fine. It will load, and then it will go to this view whereby you can then further adjust the parameters. You can add the users, the recipient that will have to receive this. I can quickly say Cobas, and then let's say add more and more Justine, because it's here. Obviously, we have the CC field, the PC field. You can add those as well, just the standard way of doing things. And then once you are sure that everything is fine, you can proceed to schedule the meeting. Or if you want to add an attachment, you can easily add that attachment there. There's a button that you use to add an attachment, and your attachment will appear at the bottom of this screen. They will be there. And then this is the meeting details. So you are more than welcome to add additional information in the appointment body, or you can just leave it as it is. The subject will tell what is it this appointment is all about. And then we also integrated the busy search. The busy search, just like in GroupWise, just checking the available time slot for this recipient at the top there, and then you select the appropriate time so that you avoid those clashing appointments. And then once you confirm everything, you click on schedule or schedule. And then once it's done, you will see that it says successfully created an appointment in GroupWise. So if I go to my GroupWise calendar, I can quickly see that this is the meeting test event. I just created this meeting now using MS Teams. And then if you open that meeting, you will see that this is Bongani, Cobas, and Justine was added there. And then this is the meeting body. And at the bottom there, you'll see that it's scheduled using with GroupWise video conferencing add-on by NETCB. So this does not necessarily mean that you only schedule meetings for people who are using GroupWise only. No, to anyone who has an email address, you can schedule that. But this application can only be installed on a workstation that has GroupWise installed. And then obviously after installing that, you will see that button there at the top to say schedule a video meeting. So when you click on that button, that app will pop up. This app will pop up. And then because I'm running out of time, when I want to go to the settings, under settings, you will see a number of options here. One of which was requested the most was the language, because this app can be used anywhere in the world because GroupWise is across the world. So languages that you currently support, these are the languages that you currently support. So every time you select a language that you want to use, for instance, if I select the German language, then it will want me to confirm or notify me that this will restart the application. So it will quickly restart the application, and then you will see that everything on the dashboard, everything on the welcomes page has been translated into the German language. So if I can quickly go to the welcome page, you will see that everything has been translated to that language, the German language, and then the GroupWise at the top, everything is translated. And then let me quickly go back to changing it to English. And then obviously, these are the main functions of this application, just to centralize all your video conferencing platforms into a single app that will be launched within your GroupWise. So this simplifies everything when it comes to scheduling. So everything is in one place rather than going to different apps to just schedule meetings. So with that being said, under settings as well, you can also disable and enable a service here. So hide if Zoom, you see now, I've enabled Zoom. So with Zoom, that's Zoom. You can also provide the meeting details for Zoom if you want to create a Zoom meeting, or if you want to hide it, it won't appear on the sidebar of the list. And then again, hiding something here or showing something here does not affect everyone, it's just for you. Only the administrators can make an impact to everyone in the organization. So that's that. So let me quickly just show you what we expect on the next release. So this is version 2.0. 2.0 have decided to integrate our GroupWise calendar into this application. So as you can see, on version 2.0, that you can now easily see which meetings are coming and when they will be held. And then on the calendar, you can easily click, and then it will pop up this dialog to show you the details of that appointment. And then you can decide to start the meeting here. You don't necessarily need to be separate, or you want to go to GroupWise itself to launch the meeting. But you can also start it here, and then it will obviously redirect to a browser, and then obviously check your meeting there. So obviously, this is the calendar function that you can use to navigate, or the view basically. This is a weekly view, and then this is the day view of your appointments, and then you have a list view of your appointments. This applies to all the meetings that are there. All the functions that are on the month view are also applicable here on the day view or on the list view. So if you want to view the meeting details, you can quickly click on that, and then it will also pop up that the information is requested. And then another thing that you will see here on the screen is at the video conferencing and the side navigation here, as to compare to the previous one that we've managed to change some or add those new upcoming platforms, which is GoTo Meeting and Jitsi. So you will have to expect that as well on the 2.0 series. And then there's something that is interesting that we've managed on this system. Okay, still have a few minutes left. So with this now, the nice thing about this now is that every time when there is a background process that is happening, those dialogues that pop-ups on the screen, they will tell you exactly what is happening at the back end. So for instance, now I'm authenticating to Teams. The dialog there shows that I'm authenticating. It's written that it's authenticating rather than having a generic spinner that will just say loading. So you don't know what is loading. So now you know that it's authenticating fine. It has authenticated me successfully. I can proceed to do the scheduling of teams, tests again, and then obviously provide some parameters. And then I'll click next. There's nothing more I can do there. And then on the GroupWise appointment window, these are the information. You see that those fields are populated with the necessary information, the place, the subject, and so on and so on. We also have the same function, the busy search, scheduling and adding of attachments. And another function that we've managed to add, lastly, here on the search, if I type Bongani, you will see that the search has improved. It now shows the profile of that user, the profile image of that user, as well as their email address and their name. On the previous version, we only chose email, those email addresses only. But on this one, we also integrated their profile images and their name as well as their email, just to confirm. And then I select that. That's GoTo there or me. And then obviously from here, you can easily then proceed to schedule the meeting. But I won't do that now because I've already scheduled the meeting. And then obviously on the interface as well, you can see that the settings are no longer located at the bottom here. We have also integrated some notifications there, a notification feature whereby administrators can then maybe send you a notification, or if there is an upcoming release, or you need to be aware of that there will be a new update coming on this date. So you will get those notifications there, which can be published by system administrators or by us as NETCB to those system administrators, and then they can share that information within the organization if they see that this information is valuable. So I hope I've covered everything that I wanted to show. And then from here, I think I will open to questions if there are any questions. Yeah, no questions. And then I think that should be the end of the presentation. Oh, maybe I can show you how do we create or schedule a meeting within WebEx. Okay. Within WebEx. Okay. Obviously, the information is already standard here. You provide the meeting subject and also provide the dates. Test WebEx. Obviously, provide a time zone here. In Africa, obviously. And then I'm looking for my time zone. And then you click on proceed. Then obviously, this is the information for. So this is the information for WebEx. And then from here, you can proceed. So I don't know, Justin, are there any questions that I might have missed?
No, there haven't been any questions raised. Thanks a lot. It was a very cool demo.
All right, yeah, I think that will be all. Thank you very much for everyone who joined. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to getting any further communications if anyone is interested on the application. Thank you very much.